last night, of course, but they had 9 straight wins before yesterday. But the fact is, the looming cloud will still be LeBron James, because as we get closer and closer to the end of this thing, where's he going to go, right? So we've heard Warriors, we've heard Cavs. Now there are reports that are saying he's willing to return to the Lakers, although a lot of folks don't seem, NBA executives don't think that's going to happen. What would surprise you most, Chandler? Like, what? Fast forward to October of next season. Where would he be?
I could see it either which way. I can't see the Warriors really. I could see him going back to LA if they show him, if they invest in the right players around him, if they do right by him and get that supporting cast that they've needed all year long.
By him.
And think about how good they are right now still, even without the those defending wings that we talked about they needed early, with the shooting that they need to surround him with. And they're still sitting pretty in the 3 spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stay here. It looks like he's having fun. It looks like he's enjoying himself. He's settling into this role where it kind of could be the first, second, third option any given night, kind of that point forward Team USA, role that we talk about. The feel-good story is Cleveland. Like, to me, that makes the most sense. They're also a contender. They also have a lot of talent, and that's where it all started. Why wouldn't it end there? It just makes perfect sense. They kind of could use him at the 3 position, so, that would make sense to me. The Warriors would completely shock me.
Really? Well, I mean, look, he's going to have to take less money to stay out here.
The guy is a billionaire. I think he could...
Don't get in his wallet. You don't know what he wants. Lou, what do you think?
I've yet to see him take one. You know what would surprise me? If he actually returns back to the Lakers. Okay. That would be what surprises me. As much as the said about, how the fans feel and how some of the Lakers greats, like a Byron Scott and all of these people saying, he gotta go. And we're LA people. We live in LA. You hear the sentiments, right? And so if we've gotten to a place where they're ready to move on, they're ready to see what a Luka Doncic-led team without LeBron James looks like, and that period of time has passed. Like, that's been the sentiment all of this season up until recently when they start rolling again. If you don't appreciate a LeBron James, I'm sure there are some markets out there that would welcome him with open arms. That's why the Warriors are in this conversation, and that's why it's kind of enticing to hear about a reunion in Cleveland for another time. You know what I mean? And so that sounds like a feel-good story. That makes the most sense for him to return back to Cleveland. But the one thing that would surprise me most, if he returns to the Lakers, if the fan base and all of these people around LA still feel the same way about him, saying that, hey, it's time for us to move on, time for us to get younger and see what that looks like. And good luck to you. If that still is the sentiment, is that still the energy, then that would surprise me most, if he would return to the Lakers. And also, you're asking him to take a discount in doing so at the same time. I don't see it happening.
What's crazy to me is, I feel like this Laker team is exceeding expectation.
I'll be honest, I don't know what the expectation was.
I know, I get it's the Lakers, it's LeBron, it's Luka, but the Western Conference is loaded. And I think there's no way we thought they'd be in this position at the beginning of the season. We knew they'd be good, we knew they'd be talented and win a lot of games, but the fact that they have going on this big of a role right now in a heater, and they're better than the Timberwolves, than the Rockets, and the Nuggets. This team is very, very impressive. They don't get the credit that they deserve, and we love to pick them apart just as media because it's LA and because it's LeBron and Luka. But this team's kind of exceeded all expectations in my eyes. I never thought they were going to be this good.
Realistic too.
Why aren't the Lakers fans should be stoked at how their season's going right now?
I don't know, because I felt like they've wanted to break up with LeBron for a while. It'll be interesting if they can sort of bring that back. Fans, we change our minds all the time, so you never know how it's going to work out. Got a little Thunder Sixers fun for you.
I've seen that a lot this year. When Wemby went out, the Spurs had success. When Jokic went out, the Nuggets still found ways to win games. So the fact that we talk about this Pistons team in almost a negative light, that they're not as talented, but it just shows you how the identity they have every single night. They defend no matter what shots are falling, no matter what shots they're taking. They still put themselves in a chance to win basketball games, even with their best offensive player out, and they find ways to win. At 8-2, guys step up. Jenkins averages 8 on the season. He averages double that, 16, 17 points a game without Cade Cunningham in the lineup. So I love to see guys take advantage of the opportunity they get when their normal guys aren't in. And the fact that they are 8-2 is very shocking to me, that they're having that much success without Cade in the lineup.
I appreciate it because it allows Cade, I would think, because what he's healing from is kind of a crazy injury that sounds scary. So it allows him maybe to take a breath and be like, all right, let me heal all the way. I don't have to rush back. These guys are holding it down. That being said, let's take a look at these standings. You got yours up. Whoever the 8th seed is, let's say Cade can't play the first round. How confident are we that they can get that done no matter what?
I mean, listen, it depends. Is Philly going to be fully healthy? Last night they didn't play anybody, and when they don't play anybody, they have no chance of winning. Obviously, Charlotte's a hot team. Miami and Orlando, they can beat you too, but it's hard just to say they're going to lose the series, right? I was thinking Atlanta, if they kind of stayed in that play and they got the 8 seed, they could give Detroit fits in the first round, but the proof is in the pudding. This team is still a quality basketball team without Cade Cunningham. They still are one of the better defensive teams without Cade Cunningham. And they have multiple guys on this roster, on this bench, that can fill in and collectively still score the basketball. So it's worrisome to me that they don't have that absolute number 2 scoring guy, playmaking guy outside of Cade. But last night they showed Jenkins is more than capable of doing that. Duncan Robinson and Herter are finding ways to score the basketball and get open. Thompson can play make a little bit, and then they have one of the better centers in the NBA, and Jalen Duren that can still wreak havoc down there. So I'm not taking them losing first round with or without Cade Cunningham, but he's going to be back for the playoffs.
So you think, we got confidence over here, Lou.
But to your question, Beetle, to me it comes down to the matchups, right? Like you got a lot of different teams with different identities that's right there in that clump of teams that's going to have an opportunity to compete for that 8 spot, and to Chandler's point, playoff basketball, we're going to take some away. That's what makes playoff basketball different. We take away some of your strengths, and we make you play to your weaknesses and try to beat us there. We love where we're shining the light on Jenkins right now. But if a team denies him or put him in a position to be, part of that scouting report where they take away some of the things that make him successful, is he going to find ways to counter that? Is he going to find ways to still be productive on a level of a 20 to 25 point a night guy? He's had 30, he's had some 22s, he's averaged double of his points when his minutes are extended. But can he do that in playoff basketball when his number is called on every day when the lights are shining the brightest? That's going to be a question. I think that's where you lean on your veteran leadership. That's where you lean on a Tobias Harris. That's where you lean on Duncan Robinson and Jalen Duren as the guys that gotta carry you over the finish line, to get there if it gets a little tricky in one of these first round matchups. Now, I still think they have enough talent and they play well enough together and the toughness is there for them to compete on a high level and get through a first round, Cade Cunningham or not. But it can get tricky depending on the matchups and if teams decide they want to take away one of these guys.
It does look it looks scary. I'm not going to lie without it.
Can I ask a random question? How much did you weigh when you played in the NBA?
That's really
185.
Do you know Jenkins is 165?
Tell me what I'm supposed to know from this.
Say that's a little guy. That's light.
It's a little guy.
Watching him play, I would. He's 6'4", 165.
He's 6'4"?
Yes, I just watched him.
Doesn't sound
I'm just saying I didn't.
No way he's 6'4", 165. Is that real?
Is that math?
I promise you that's what he's listed.
First of all, why do we know that?
I got it open right here.
Because I looked it up and I was like, this guy plays like he's 6'7", 190.
165. It says 165.
I don't know this stuff. I'm going to go
pretty
ahead.
light.
What should you be at 6'4"?
I don't know, 180?
200 pounds.
185, yeah.
I have no concept. This is
I don't
why
know, I saw that before the show and I was like, this guy's kind of small.
But he doesn't look like
plays a lot bigger.
That can't be accurate. But who knows? It says it. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that information. Now I'm going to be paying more attention to it, I guess. By the way, I know we talked this a little bit last week, but it gets more and more sort of realistic feeling, the fact that Cade may not qualify for.
Those are 4 of the best players in the year, and they're possibly not going to be All NBA. That doesn't make sense.
No, it's going to bite them in the butt. This will be the first time. This is going to be a precedent-setting season because we're going to have to actually deal with the 65-game rule for real.
And then, Jalen Duren, his teammate, might make it All-NBA over him because he just played more games than him but had a worse season.
It cheapens the
It takes away the it's a little lackluster.
I agree. Oh, I love that for you.
Silly.
Yeah, lackluster's nice. We do a little bit of Lakers talk only because, yes, they are in a feel-good window, not counting